Hi everybody, this is my testing with the system. I just got a few days ago a new setup, a little bit better than the earlier, but this is not like high-end, but it's good for me. And I'm also testing this web camera here, which is the Insta360 and I just a few days ago was able to attach it to this video via OBS Studio with this new setup. Hey, my name is Markus Sinervä. I'm a Finnish guy and I work in Finnham's helicopter emergency medical service company in Finnham's as a pilot. I'm a co-pilot in Rovaniemi base, which is right in the North Arctic Circle in Rovaniemi area. And now my intentions are to test this screen capturing and everything, simulator and voice and picture-in-picture camera and stuff. So this is what I'm planning for this day. I'm here in the North America and Alaska. Alaska. How do you say it? I'm a Finn, so I don't know every word and how those are pronounced. Anyway, here is some kind of airfield, very tiny one, which I found. The name is... where can I find it? It doesn't show with me because I have used... oh crap. I have chosen the airfield for departure, so it doesn't show me the airport name anymore. Anyway, it's Papa Alpha Oscar uniform. Yes, Nelson Lagoon. And there I found some nature in points of interest from the flight simulator. Here's some grizzly bears. I don't know what are those. Some bears. And then Gold Bay airfield as a waypoint, and then grizzly bears again. And then some mountains. And then there is Cape Sarikef. And Akutan is this kind of water airport. And then there is again point of interest, which is seagulls. I have to be careful with those. And then I will land to Papa Alpha Delta uniform, Unalaska place. I have set the flight condition to actually, I want it to be, I'm using the Floyd's clouds and maybe some fluffy clusters. And the time will be around 10 to 11 in noon. Oh, it's way too dark. I want to see some sunrise there. Okay, let's hit fly. So, this is mainly testing about the system, how it works, and same time I will tell you how to start up the helicopter, which I will show you in a minute. So I'm a co-pilot in Rovaniemi Finnham space, and we fly this exactly same Airbus H145 helicopter. And this helicopter here is made by High Performance Group. Let it download a little bit or build the scenery. Yeah, H145 helicopter, exactly the same that we are flying in Rovaniemi and the northmost bases in Finland. This is awesome helicopter with 4-axis autopilot and everything. And this one is modeled so accurately that we have, like, our company company flight suits here and everything. And this has medical equipment in it. And one final adjustment to make it even more realistic. Snow ski skits. Yeah, these here, we have those in use in Rovaniemi and all of the bases. Also in the summertime, because there are wet swamp places where we end up landing every now and then. But hey, we are using this kind of checklist for this type of helicopter, and I'm going to read it aloud for you and show how do you start up this helicopter also in real life. Let's hit the battery master switch on there. It's the most left button in this upper row. These are the CBs, contact breakers, and some emergency switches, and these are like normal switches which we use in every flight. Okay, master list, which is this one. Yes, you can see my mouse cursor. Master list, power up test, okay. Check VMS. This is VMS, vehicle monitoring system page. I will press numbers, and then I see the number values here, and then I will hit this knob here and put some more weight for us. I think we are about 500 kilograms heavy. Maximum takeoff weight is 3,700 feet. Sorry, kilograms, not feet. And then I will put some more fuel, shift F, and make the fuel tank full. Then validate, and just one more realistic crew and payload. We have only 2 flight crew members in the back seat and then 2 pilots in Rovaniemi base. Now it's more realistic. And then hitting previous. Cyclic collective. Cyclic is centered. You can see it also here from the must moment indicator. It's centered, and this collective is locked. Prime pumps. Let's hit them on. You can find them from here, and you can hear the sound coming from the left ear. DC voltage. Minimum 23.5. We have 25.2, so we're good to go. Engine 1 and 2 main switches, which are located here. It's the 18th of November, so I will start the even. The day is even, so I will start the number 2, which is even. I'm hitting the clock here and then start the stopwatch and checking clear left, clear right. Number 2 to idle position. N1 rising. Now we are going here in the place number 6, engine 1 and 2 main switches idle and startup test, okay. Let's wait until I can read idle from here. Yes, it's idle. Starting number 1. Starter on, N1 rising. In real life, from the alarm on a mission, we are ready in about 5 to 6 minutes to hit the road or the airspace. But now when I'm talking all the time and explaining you how do you fire up this birdie, it will take way more longer. Okay, both engines idle, and you should see here, if you scroll, startup test okay, but I won't see. Let's see if it comes later. And then stage 7 overhead panel. It includes many buttons here, or switches, avionics masters, standby battery, DC reception, pitot static, heating on, and let's put this little LAVCS, which is vibration, anti-vibration system. To pilot position, you can also put it to PAX, which is passenger. I will make it pilot. Prime pumps off, transfer pumps on, lights on, including landing light already at this stage, and then bleed heating, hot air from the turbine inside the helicopter, and then I will hit this push for the fog. And temperature is plus 13. I didn't have any idea what kind of weather we have here in Alaska, but it's quite warm. Okay, overhead panel set. Then if we would continue to IFR flight, I would continue pre-flight test and avionics settings more accurately, but now we are doing VFR flight, which means visual flight rules. Had to think a little bit. Before takeoff checklist, 8 stops MFD4. This one is MFD1, 2 and 4. I don't know where have they missed the number 3, but this is 4. And let's hit nav display and check 8 stops with it, which is a high terrain avoidance warning system, and hit it. And then I like to take the map to this default setting, which should be always visible here when I start up the helicopter, but for some reason it gives me some open maps or something. Yeah, and then checking about the obstacles. Now I'm on ground, so everything is red, but when I go higher, I can see no, it's okay. Yep, I will show you later how does it look like. Briefing and box. We don't have any kind of procedure here done in this airfield, so we'll make performance class 2 PC2 clear heliport takeoff, and decision will be 15 feet and 30 knots. In some of the departures, I would put decision height here to the decision height, where I will decide. Oh well, we can actually I can show you how do we do the VTOL or RTOL takeoff. So I will make the decision height 200 feet. You can see it here. Decision altitude will warn you about the ground. No, the height, which has the reference in the sea level, but a decision height will use radio altimeter and show you the altitude or height to the ground beneath you. And we can see that our altitude is negative, so I don't know the the barometric pressure here in this area, so I will just guess something that we can get near to the sea level. Okay, it's around 1015, and I have to make the adjustment here for also the other gauges, and here 1015. Okie dokie. Good. Then 8 stops MFD4 checked, set and checked, briefing and box. We will make to the headwind RTOL, which is reworked takeoff and landing procedure. Be aware about this mast here. I will actually air taxi to the runway. And decision height will be 200 feet, which is set here to the this is not box. And if I get malfunction for either of the motors, I will settle back to ground, land, and if I get some kind of emergency situation after the decision, I will accelerate to VY speed and then take the helicopter to 200 feet and then accelerate to VY speed. I will show them later, and then make safer landing to this airfield in this case. So briefing and box performed, DH200, engine 1 and 2 main switches, flight guided 101. And I want to tell you again, or for the first time, that everything that I do here in this simulator might vary even quite a lot from the real life. You shouldn't never take any kind of hints for real life flying here, and I may say something that doesn't isn't true for some reason, or well, this is just a training in a Microsoft Flight Simulator, so don't take it too seriously. Warnings and master list. Warnings, we have autopilot here. Let's put the autopilot on at this stage. No warnings in here. Master list is empty. Landing light on. Instruments, cross-check that everything looks similar with each other. Checked. Altimeter, QNH1015, and it's a little bit over. Oh, it's still negative 01. Oh, it's good that I checked it. So the environmental pressure will be 1019 hectopascals. This is the meaning of the checklists. We are humans, so we make mistakes, and we might even make again the same mistakes, so now it's fixed. Altimeter is checked, autopilot on. Next, hover check. So we are now in this stage of the list, hover check, and then we'll get after takeoff checklist and cruise IFR. So we are doing VFR, so I'm not going through these IFR checks, and then I will turn the checklist to other side. Okie dokie. I can see the map here, and I have already the flight route here in the Garmin navigator, which I will use maybe partly in autopilot and partly flying by hand. Set up Navigraph access first. I don't need it now. I just need the map. Okay, okay. Yeah. Alright, let's take the helicopter to hover. And hover check. No warnings. Master list checked. And then turning left. We have a headwind, as you might see from the MFD 1 and 2. In the middle right area there is this windsock symbol or wind arrow symbol, but it's only about 5 knots. I will check the left side because I can't turn my head now easily while flying. That's why I'm turning the whole helicopter and checking the right. Great, and after takeoff we will turn right, so we will get to our planned route. There we go. Oh, stop. And when you're hovering with a helicopter, you should make very little movements with your controls. As you might see from this video, right after I start doing this, it goes really crazy, and then you have to have all your skills to make it level again. So just millimeter or two back and forth, and then planning ahead few seconds. Okay, and then we'll make the RTOL or VTOL takeoff. Go. Vertical speed will be about 300 feet per minute, and I should have the spot where I just left somewhere around between the pedals, and check that I won't put the engines to over torque or FLI indicator to red. 170, 200 feet decision, yeah, and flying. Sorry, I'm way more fluent with my native language, Finnish, so I will mix some words every now and then have to think what I'm talking. VTOL speed, which is 45 knots, you can see from the speed indicator, perhaps. And positive climb, VY speed, which is 70 knots. And then I'll start the turn to right. And I can actually stop the climbing here to around 600, 700 feet from the surface. Because we are a flying helicopter. With helicopter we use usually quite low altitudes. We are too scared to fly in the high altitudes where the real pilots fly. Okay, we have negative vertical speed. I will put it to 0-ish. There we go. Beeping. Okay, now hey, I have to make one adjustment. My son was flying the Hornet F-18 yesterday, and I put my setup to Logitech Extreme 3D standard profile. I have to make it H145 profile so that all my buttons will work. Resume. There we go. Okay, now it made all the control values to 0 and started to dive, but situation in control. Okay, so we will hit altitude button here from the autopilot control panel, which will hold this altitude for us, and then I will hit the couple button here, so the helicopter will follow the pre-planned flight plan route in here, and we have all the points in here. Eisenberg Grizzly Bears is the next waypoint. Oh man, I didn't realize that the distances are so so long here in this simulator. Okay, hey, now when we have altitude and navigation on hold or active green, I can use this cyclic sort of instrument here to put us more. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It should hold the altitude and navigation and give us some airspeed, but for some reason it doesn't work. Okay, let's choose indicate airspeeds then. I don't know what is this problem. It used to work, and then I will beep from this button here, airspeed to 125, which is quite typical cruise flight speed. And with 3-axis autopilot, I'm checking the surroundings that we won't hit anything. With 4-axis autopilot, even if I would put the speed to 150, the autopilot, I should always keep the FLI, which is this first limit indicator, which is like the power setup in the maximum or near to the maximum, never exceeding it. But this simulator makes some bumps sometimes. Now let's check our ETA. It takes 18 minutes. That's looking better. Yeah, airspeed just had gone too low. But anyway, I think that we are not able to make the whole tour here, but let's just go check the first one. Okay, some introduction of this helicopter. We have good visibility, no high terrain, at least for a while. Here you can see the red area, which is at our flight altitude. So we have to gain some altitude from here before this higher ground. Okay, so this is our Airbus H145, and this is really accurate copy of the real one. I know one guy called Dennis Pfeiffer from Germany, and he made this livery for this high performance group's commercial 145 helicopter. Dennis asked me to take some pictures from the helicopter that we were using at that time, and which we had in our hangar, and this is really accurately made copy of that. You can see the hydraulic section there behind this window, and all the details here, and even some exhaust gas markings here in the airplane chassis. So this is really nice looking bird. And the HIMS equipments here inside the helicopter, those are made by HPG, High Performance Group, and it's not exactly the same that we are using in our company, but very good. Let's see if I can get us inside the helicopter. It's moving so fast that I'm not able to. VFR map. I don't need it right now. What's happening? What is happening? Altitude navigation, indicated airspeed. I just pushed some buttons and it went crazy. Let's decouple and recouple the navigation. Airspeed check, altitude check. Oh crap, I don't know what happened. Never happened in a real helicopter, luckily. Let's put the brightness down because I have this bloom setting on for some reason to get nicer screenshots, and it makes all the displays to bloom too much. Maybe some instrument background lightings. Yeah, it's way better. Okay, now we are happy with the altitude, direction and the speed. And I actually have this Garmin GTN750 installed, which you need to have when you download or buy this helicopter. There is free version of this, but I have the commercial pro version where you can do more flight planning and see some charts if you have access to this chart service. And this is really close to the real Garmin that we use in a real life. A little bit slower though. And what is the con in this simulator navigation? If I have empty flight plan here, so no departure or arrival, I can't select a spot that I want and hit direct to button there. So I always have to make the departure airfield and then make the arrival the destination, which after I can of course hit the point I want, even if the departure point would be some other airfield, and hit a direct to from here and then activate if I would have the point here. So some kind of small tricks you need to do. And here is the communication settings for the radio number 1, and this is for sorry, messing up. So we have two devices here. I was reading the one, and in here we have settings for the radio number 1 and navigation settings for the radio number 1, and then for number 2 and number 2. And we can choose from this audio panel which one we are using. In real life we have 2 of these in the helicopter where we can choose which one does the co-pilot or the helicopter crew member want to hear and where does he want to talk. But in this helicopter we have only one audio control panel. Let's put this GTN to another display. It's nicer there. Okay, looks like the terrain is getting higher. I can take some more altitude for us. Airspeed 125, and then I have programmed the collective B-prim to this Sidec X52 control, and I will beep it to 1000 feet. You can see it from here. And this is pretty much like the real flying. In the real world we use the autopilot like 95% of the time, maybe even more, because it's made to make the flying safer and free the pilot's hands to like more critical things to do, checking out the environment and navigating using the radios and flight planning and everything. So this is really good piece of technology in this helicopter. I have been flying now for about 2 years in Finhams. So just in the beginning of my my career in Finhams. And earlier I was flying smaller helicopters like Robinson R22 and R44 in photographic flights and in reindeer herding flights in Finnish Lapland. And I gathered some 2000, maybe 200 flight hours with smaller helicopters inside of about 10 years, and then I got to these trainings, which end up then to the HEMS missions, and this is a place I like, and I want to retire after some 20 years. We have some higher terrain coming, and we have 8 minutes left to the Itzembek fluffy birds, or what were those? They were not fluffy bears. They were let's see. And for some reason it has activated this last leg here. Why is that? Activate leg. Isenberg grizzly bears. Like that. It should turn to amber. Will it? Oh crap. It's messing up with me for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, we will fly along this this line here, and this really should be amber and activated, but for some reason it has activated this leg here in a GTN. Maybe some kind of bug. I don't like bugs, especially the mosquitoes that we have here in Finland in the summertime. Those are bugs too. Annoying bugs. Okay, the terrain is coming up. We have height about 400 feet from the ground. So I will do some trimming here, taking us to 1200 feet. So we don't necessarily get the decision height announcement. We might end up having it because this is the highest point here in this area. No, we're not. So if the altitude goes until this decision height, which is set up here, I will get audio warning decision height. And all the time in all of our flights we have some kind of decision height set here. In the summertime, no, in the daytime we have 200 feet, and in the nighttime we have 600 feet, and in IFR, instrumental flight rules, flying, we have 1000 feet set. And then when we are coming near to landing site, which is like accident site, we set up the decision height to 400 feet and make the recognition circle in about 500 feet minimum in the night time. Our minimum flight altitude in our operations is 250 feet from the ground level, or the sea water level. So it's quite low, but it makes it possible to fly in a little bit more poor weather. In normal VFR flights, you are allowed to fly at 500 feet in areas that are not densely populated, and 1000 feet in densely populated areas. Okay, we have 3 minutes until the destination. I will make our airspeed to VY 70 knots, so I can make the before landing check easier. And now when talking to you, I forgot to do the after takeoff checklist, which was instruments, checking about the instruments that everything is active, but I have been actively and checking them all the time, and making the adjustments when this simulator wanted to go somewhere else. External lights, we have landing lights on. Some people like to keep them on day and night. Some people hit them off right after we are away from the airfield area or the control zone. OAT, outside air temperature, is 11 plus 11 centigrade, so we don't have. Next stage is icing contingency plan. We don't have risk of icing. We don't like to fly in icing conditions because we don't have any kind of de-icing anti-ice devices here in this helicopter. Then before landing checklist, H-Stuff's MFD4. Let's check H-Stuff's information. Zoom in. We don't have any high terrain here nearby. No masts. Well, this simulator doesn't show us the masts in this display. Briefing and bugs. We'll make circles at least near the bears. Maybe I'll make PC2 RTOL landing also using the decision height 200 to nearby the bears. Briefing and bugs performed. So it will be PC2 RTOL landing, decision 200 feet. Standard calls and procedures. Altimeters QNH 1019er and altimeter 1200 feet, and same here. Instruments, cross check. Warnings and master list, no warnings, master list checked. External lights, landing light on. Before landing checklist completed. And now we are getting quite near to the polar bears or whichever bears. Let's check. Zoom in. There's a river, and then the terrain rises, and there should be the spot. So we have the river here and here. And terrain race is here, and then again. So the bear should be somewhere in this area. I have never flown in this area. This is my first time flying in Alaska, I think, so I don't know what to expect. Very short trees, or no trees at all, at least. Let's put the helicopter lower. We are 2.2 nautical miles away from the polar bears. As you can see, I'm also now using the autopilots, and when coming more near to the spot, I will disengage them and do some manual flying. But I want to keep my hands free to all the other stuff here. Okay, decoupling. I have this one button here programmed for the autopilot upper modes decouple button here. I don't know if you can see, but in the top buttons, this is Logitech Extreme 3 Pro. Grizzly bears. What means grizzly? I have no idea. And we're going quite near to the 200 feet. This is in height. Taking the speed down, VY speed. VTOS speed. And then I will hit us altitude and indicate its airspeed, so we are safe. When the autopilot keeps us 30 knots, and we will be in this altitude, safe altitude, then I can just turn the helicopter like this, and it will keep the safe altitude and speed, letting me to turn wherever I want. Let's see if we can see some bears here. It should be really near according to the... Yeah, there they are. Can you see? Those are brown bears, not the ice bears. I don't actually know if they have the ice bears in Alaska. It's the same thing that if you talk about Finland, in some countries they think that we have like ice bears and penguins. How do you say it in Finland? Okay, for some reason I'm losing the airspeed, so this autopilot doesn't like to keep it the minimum 30 for me. Let's check. The autopilot minimum speed is 30 knots, so for some reason it's just messing with me right now. Okay, manual flying, and disregard the minimum altitude or minimum height announcement. The bears were somewhere here. Let's land next to them. "30 knots. Did I just lose them? Okay, let's put the GTC-H on, which means that the helicopter will keep its location with the autopilot. And then I can also hit the CRHT button here, which will keep the altitude using the radio altimeter here. And then I can just use the beep rims here in the collective to go lower, and then to turn the helicopter wherever I want, and after I stop the controls it will stay there. Let's check the bears. I think they were walking somewhere in here earlier. I think that they have gone here to the left. The autopilot was messing up with me, so I had to concentrate to flying more than to the environment. Okay, let's do so that I will first go to near hover and fly to the GPS location for the bears to the right, and then come back to left and check if we can find them. Okay, decoupling and going down.
100 feet.
Check 100 feet. It is the altitude that the autopilot all the time, every time tells for the pilot, just for safety reasons. Okay, we don't have any bears here. Barely no bears. How about there? Hey, here they are. Trying to escape from me. I wonder if those are angry bears or not. So this is the flight simulator scenery content here. There are some really fluffy bears. Have been eating fish from the nearby river, I think. Just checking if they are reacting to my flying here, or are those just like programmed to walk this specific route here back and forth. If they are reacting to my flying, I could be able to do the bear mastering here like I was doing with the reindeers in the earlier days, few years ago. Looks like they are just pre-programmed to walk some line back and forth. I will land here. 10 feet. Hey, they are stopping. Are they? Awesome. Now they're stopping. I will take print screenshot and then go outside of the helicopter and do some screenshots. Yeah, they stopped. Awesome. Let's check from this side. What has happened? Caps lock. No. Num lock. No. I'm not able to move the camera for some reason. Even if I should be able. But why? But why? Page up doesn't help. Bling. It said bling. It doesn't mean. Autopilot decouple. Oh, I found accidentally autopilot decouple button from the okay, and now it doesn't go off. Maybe I have some failures here programmed. No. Autopilot. Autopilot redundancy. Oh crap, what's happening? VMS and system page. Here I can see autopilot 1 and 2 are off. ACAS 8 stuffs on green. No, red. Okay. What is happening? Let's try to put autopilot upper mode here. On, nothing's happening. What's happening? I don't get this. I don't get this. Home button. Okay. Now I should be able to do some tricks from these buttons, but no, I'm not able. Okay, yeah. I messed up with the system for some reason. But hey, this has been maybe a little bit boring test flight here. Now already 58 minutes. Oh my gosh. So I will next show you how to turn off the helicopter according to the checklist. After landing checklist, there's several points. 14 different points with which we are actually making all of them. After landing checklist, cyclic collective, centered, locked. As you can see, the mass moment indicator is a little bit to the right. Now it's centered. External lights, landing light we have on. We will put it off. In a real helicopter we switch it off from this button here, the search light and landing light. Autopilots, well, they are off for some reason and I can't get them on. Radar, which is the weather radar, it should be standby. It was off. I would like to get it like by default to stay in this position what I left it earlier. Engine 1 and 2 main switches, guards off, and engines to idle position. And then we'll make the test checklist and go back to the VMS vehicle monitoring system page, and then it goes here, and then we press the system here, and then we'll hit the pre-flight test button here, PFLT, like that, and put it back to center, and then we'll check. The real helicopter takes about maybe 20 minutes to check the system. It will move the controls and engage the autopilot and disengage the autopilot and do some tricks, and then it will tell that the pre-flight test is okay. Overhead panel, so all the switches that we switched on we will now switch off. Heating, bleed heating off, transfer pumps off, and we will leave the anti-collision light on as in real life in our operations. Overhead panel checked. MFD4 was this. VMS page. And engine 1 and 2 main switches off. 1 minute has gone from the idle, so I'll get to put them off. And rotor brake when NR is max 50%. NR means rotor RPM, and you can see it from here and here. Now it's below 50, and I will hit the handbrake, rotor brake here, and real helicopter stops. Doesn't stop the rotors this quickly, but this one does. And then back off. And then test checklist, engines off. Okay, I made a little bit shortcut. We have engines on. Can you see it? Engines on checklist, with means AFCS stream test, lamp test, pre-flight test, hydraulic test, fire protection test, heating system check and stuff. So I just made a shortcut with those. Engines off, checklist, flight control check. All the controls are working, and the collective, it should go until FLI 10, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. In real helicopter it does. Test checklist, engines off performed. Flight report. We can see the flight report here. It gives us the on-air flight time 36 minutes and block time, which means that the engines have been on for 52 minutes. And it's validated and download complete to the memory disk. And we have some cumulative cycle values here, which we mark to the helicopter informations afterwards. Battery master switch, standby battery master switch off, standby battery is also off. EFB, which is the electronic flight back, which is here. We usually check that it's up to date in a real life with the for-flight navigation software that we are using, and there is enough power in it. But hey, briefly, this was HPG's High Performance Group's Airbus H145 with Dennis Pfeiffer's Finham's livery, and flight conducted sort of like we would make it in the real world in Finham's missions, but pay attention that this was just for fun demonstration with simulator helicopter, and I made mistakes about the checklists, and helicopter was messing up with me according to the autopilot and stuff. But hey, one thing that I still want to show you about this helicopter, this is really awesome equipment. You can also add hoist here and do some hoist missions and drop the crew member with the hoist to accident site, and you are able to open the back doors or all of the doors, and as you can see or hear, the voices are now different inside the helicopter, because you can see or hear the wind and birds singing there and stuff. And then I'll put the stretcher out and crew member out. Aha! This helicopter is lagging for some reason. There is usually a stretcher with a patient, but now it's disappeared. No, it's there. What happened? Okay, some kind of lagging. Just fixed it. Okay, and then I'm able to make a person to go and check the helicopter surroundings from, was it from missions, library, quick crew check out here. Now we can see there's a crew member checking out the surroundings. Oh crap, I hope that the bears doesn't eat him. He's checking the helicopter plates, I think, at the moment. And you can see him from here also, wearing his Finham's flight suit. Nice. I think he was checking the engine 2 and then engine 1. This is really awesome. And then he should come back inside the helicopter. Yeah, opening the door. That was it. So this is what is this high performance group's helicopter. It's really awesome with dozens of different liveries from different countries, but I always fly with this Finhams for some reason. And then there is also lots of different material here, including the fluffy bird, or what is this funny little feature, because why not? Nice. Game over. And then you are able to use the EFB Connect, so that you have on your desktop EFB Connect window, and you can put any website you want there, and after hitting this you will see the website inside your helicopter. How awesome is that? Well, this was just a brief and messy testing introduction of this helicopter and Finham's stuff in its not so natural environment in Alaska. And at the same time I was practicing to make my English better and more fluent, because I very much prefer talking Finnish when I do these videos. But it only serves quite a small group of people in Finland who are doing the flight simulator and especially flying the helicopters. So hopefully this was beneficial for you and you got something new from this. And please subscribe, like if you liked, and put the comments if you want to know something more about this helicopter or our operations. And go follow me on TikTok, where I have content from the base life. Well, it's in Finnish, so it's more like for Finnish people. You can find it with M Sinerva, MSINERVA, and with the same name from Instagram. I have some aviation content there and some artistic content also. Yeah. Hey, I hope that you liked even a little bit what I was doing here. A bit boring and long stuff, but this is my end screen here, which I will slide to. See you next time. Thanks for watching.